Right. Well, while that's going live, let me reset the chat box because oh god, there's so many more options now. Ah, that one. Aha. YouTube notifying me that I'm live. Thank you, YouTube. Um. Huh? Right. Well, hello, people. How's things? Hello, Harry. Nice caps lock. There we go. Beautiful. Yeah. Hello. Yes, I'm live by like 1 minute. Um. Yeah. That's well, I kind of have to go live early now because the YouTube studio doesn't let me like go live immediately. I have to press live on OBS or Streamlabs OBS and then wait like 5 minutes for it to turn up. So yeah. Hello Vitus. How you doing? Sorry that I said your name wrong, inevitably. How's things? Hello Starman. How you doing, man? I'm great. Awesome. Nice. I did. Second time. Right. Nice. Hello, Kevin. Hope you well. Yes and no. It's life. Uh, I've not been horrifically bad mentally this week, if that's any consolation. So. I bought a phone today. That was expensive. I said it on Twitter actually. But yeah, I'm finally replacing this, which I realize was only about 3 months ago that I said, "Oh, I'll never replace this." But the battery life is going. I've already replaced the charging cable twice. Um, so yeah, why not? It's gonna be here tomorrow though, actually. So, and I'm not because I'm at EGX. Also, is anyone going to EGX, Kev? Also, hello, Kev. How you doing? Question: is the Ryzen 5 3600 good enough for streaming and playing games at 144 hertz? So I'm guessing you're talking about 1080p 144 hertz. GPU don't count. I got a 5700 XT. So in that case, yes, I would say so. The I would try and overclock it and see how far you can get. But generally speaking, you should be fine. You can also use the AMD VCE encoder, which is the encoder built into your graphics card. So you don't really get any performance hit from the graphics card or general performance hit, but yeah, that's a good option. Or you can use X264, and again, it's not going to be that bad. Most games tend to only use like 4 threads anyway, and you have 12 on the 3600X, so it's fine. What was I going to say? You'll generally have a few threads spare for encoding anyway, so yeah, it's all good. Watch a load of vids on 2700X versus 3700X, not much different. So your vid made my mind up and got the 2700X at half price of the 3700. Nice for 4040p gaming. Yeah, that's fair, man. I mean, obviously the tech enthusiast in me says you should go for the best that you can get, but especially for half the price, it's not double the performance, certainly. So yeah, that's fair. Nice. Still looking to build a PC this year. Is it still worth going MSI B450 Tomahawk Max for Ryzen 3600, or move up to X570? So, like I said in the X570 versus B450, which was with the Asus boards, unless you want PCIe Gen 4 support, unless you really want the what you call it, unless you really want better words are not coming out today, Unless you want those fast SSDs, B450, maybe X470 should be fine. The only slight difference is you might have some trouble with older motherboards and super fat, like 3600 megahertz RAM, but generally it should still be fine. I can always change in 6 months. True. Yes, you can. Yeah, you still have one generation of Zen to come out, so Zen 2 plus to come out, 4th gen Ryzen. So the socket should still be supported until the end of next year, as far as I'm aware. And then yeah, then you'll have in 2021 probably a new socket and stuff. I have 4 PCs in need of an upgrade, so if the 2700X does no good, I will get newer. Fair play, man. Fair play. Yeah. Nice. Indeed. What have I been testing? Oh, I did a so I'm reading the Discord, and Chris Duragamer is eating a whole roast chicken in the Sainsbury's car park. Fair play. So I did a video today of or one of the 2 videos I did today actually, was GPU names explained, like explaining what the hell the different GPU names mean. I think it'll be an interesting one, especially if there is if you're someone who's new to the GPU buying market, or you know, someone who is honestly just not caught up with all of the releases, because I realized that if you're out of the new market, like if you don't watch a review or whatever of every new graphics card that's come out, or even CPU or anything, you get like desynced from the market very, very quickly, such that if you haven't, let's say you haven't watched any tech videos in like 6 months, it is possible that there has been a whole like graphics card generation launch, potentially even from both sides, if you miss the right time, and you would have no idea which one's which, what the deal is. And so that the video explains AMD's ones, which actually explain the last 3 generations, because AMD's changed their naming scheme a lot. As well as also NVIDIA's GTX and RTX, and a little bit about each. So yeah, I think it's good. Actually, I actually filmed it and edited it like 4 months ago, but I didn't end up uploading it because it was just really at the like slightly the wrong time. It was just before NVIDIA launched the RTX Supers, and it was just before AMD launched the RX, or it was like just after AMD launched the RX 5700s. And so basically, I left that alone for a little bit. I left it in the come back to this pile. And I finally got around to getting back to it, and I think it's pretty good. So I hope you like it. It's I don't know, like 2 weeks from now. But yeah, should be good. Is he crying while eating that chicken? I hope not. Although somehow that would slightly make it better. So, and no worries, Harry. Glad you like him. And yes, feel free to like the video. More importantly, feel free to use all of the affiliate links. I mean, I've got to say, like, I know that there's only 7 people watching currently, but thank you to everyone who does use the affiliate links. It is a pretty drastic part of like my paycheck, basically, especially the Amazon ones, where it's actually picked up a lot in the last like 6 months, such that it's actually like very, very helpful. So thank you very much for using them. Obviously, it doesn't cost you anything, so that's great. But yeah, thank you very much. What else have I been playing with? I was playing with. Oh, speaking of streaming and CPUs, I have. Is that it there? Yes, that it. Not the HP Omen laptop. That review I think is already out. Yes. Yes. But the PC that's next to it, the review for that is coming out this week. I think that's tomorrow. Why's that over there? Where is it? Yes. So the review for that system's coming out tomorrow. It's a system from eBuyer, part of their Alpha Sync line of systems. It's alright. It had a few weird like setup things that I would like to see changed. You'll see that in the video tomorrow. But more specifically, the CPU that's in it is an i7-9700KF, which is the one without graphics. So I've basically gone mad. That system has now done 3 videos. So the review for the system, a comparison between the 9700KF and the 3700X, which is close to price parity. It's the X, the Ryzen chip is £40 cheaper, but I don't have a 3800, so and that was pretty interesting. So there's a video that will come out with just those 2 chips, and then the video that I edited this morning was what you call it? The streaming video. So that's checking out the streaming performance in Battlefield 5, Fortnite, and PUBG. So yeah, that. Nice. I mean, best of luck with that, but you know, that. Yeah, that one. So yeah, would the 8 people that are watching be interested in seeing a video of the OnePlus 7T Pro that will apparently be here tomorrow? Like a review of that. I don't tend to cover phones all that much. In fact, I think the last phone I reviewed was the Xiaomi Black Shark 2. The one before that was the Alcatel One X or whatever it was. And then the one before that was like 4 years ago. So yeah. Would you be interested in actually seeing that video? I'm gonna reset my camera's properties because every time I close Streamlabs OBS, it dies and it's really annoying. There we go. That one, you can never control the low light. Yeah, sure. Right, there we go. Hello F7. How you doing? Why not? Cool. I went for the Pro over the what you call it, the T, or the standard, because I've always seen the notch as like a speed bump in the world of tech, and I just, if I was gonna spend that much money, I may as well spend money for the one that's not got a notch. Admittedly, the pop-up cameras are also a speed bump, but it's a different kind of speed bump. So yeah, you would. Awesome. John, hello. My old G500 finally died. What mouse do you recommend with a decent thumb support and no sniper button? I'm also interested in buying a mouse too for FPS gaming. Cool. Also, F7, hello. How you doing? I'm all right. You're around to that, and also hello, Ish. How you doing? So I'll answer John first. God, decent. Possibly the Logitech G502 wireless. That's pretty great. It's expensive though. Was that the one with the flare? I can't remember. I'm so used to using my Logitech MX Master, which is not a gaming mouse. I'm not recommending it. It's just very, very nice thumb support. But yeah, I can't. Let me double triple check because I can't remember if it has or not. G502 Lightspeed is what it's actually called. And yes, the G502 has a little a little lip that you can stick your hand on. So yeah, I think the normal G502 has the same sort of lip. So if you want to stay Logitech, the G502 or the G502 Lightspeed are great options. The G903 is great. It's a bit slim for me, and if I remember, doesn't have any sort of real thumb support, which is a specific thing he was asking for. So yeah, probably that. And Vidas, interested in buying a Game OS2 for FPS gaming. So it depends what your budget is. Like I said, the G502 is a nice option. The wired one is reasonably cheap, and the wireless one is, well, it's not. it's just not. But it is great. It does have the PowerPlay support, which is nice. Honestly, my personal favorite is probably the SteelSeries Rival 310. It's, I don't know, where's Streamlabs? It's the one that's been on this desk forever. It's incredibly light, like it honestly feels empty, but it still has a nice quality feeling plastic to it, which is kind of rare. Switch is great, the sensor is brilliant, and it's in that price range. So yeah. Didn't they walk back that 32 rec? What do you what were we talking about there? Mac. What was the name of it? SteelSeries Rival 310. Oh right. He's talking. Mac, you're talking about the thing. Did you see the recommended RAM spec for EA's new Star Wars game? It's 32 gigabytes. But Mac says didn't they walk back that requirement? So I haven't. Honestly, that probably doesn't surprise me. I haven't looked at required RAM. Like it's been so long since I've ever looked at like the system requirements of a game without being like specifically told to look at it because it has a meme in it or whatever. So they did walk it back. Fair play. Yeah, I don't know. I assume that the majority of games have 16 gigs as their recommended. I would be kind of surprised at 32 right now for gaming. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, 32 does seem a bit much, but yeah. I mean, no, because most games that I play don't tend to use more than like 4 gig total, right? Like if you have Task Manager while you're playing games, the majority of games don't ever use more than like 4 gig, even though I have 32 in the system. So yeah, I suppose unless they're literally loading everything, like the whole maps, like everything of the map into RAM, but that seems a bit much. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Thank you, Scott. Out of interest, what spec is everybody in chat running? Like what spec PC? Like let's say CPU, RAM, graphics card? I have 64 gigs, the most total that ever gets used is around 22. Is that, I'm guessing that's not with games though, right? That's with video editing or something like that. Because to put it into context, I have 32, I edit 4K videos, I use 32 gigs of RAM. I could probably do with having 64 here. Or no, 64 is probably the peak that I need. But yeah, I could do with 64, but other than that, yeah. 4770K, nice. 16 gigs of RAM and RX 480, 16 gigs, Ryzen 2600X and 2080 Ti. UZFS only takes 8 of the 32 gig I have. Oh, okay, fair play. Normal is around 10 gig, and with the games it's up to 22 depending on the game. Interesting. Ah, fair play. Do you know what? Do you know off the top of your head what sort of game would take up that extra space? 5960X. Nice, nice. That's old now, which is funny to say. 900K, 28 Super, 32 gigs of RAM. Nice. 1600X, I suppose soon to be a 2700X. Crosshair 6 Hero, 16 gigs of RAM on a MSI 2080, 1700X, 1070 Ti, and a 16 gig. Okay, fair play. 7 Days to Die is probably for the map and assets. Okay, yeah, I can see that. I'd like to buy some Palm Grip mouse for gaming. Any recommendation? Palm Grip. Which one's that? So bigger handed mouse. It depends how much you're willing to spend, honestly. Still works perfectly. I should not have said that. Probably shouldn't. Yeah, Adrian, depends how much you're willing to spend. Honestly, if you have next to no money, then Corsair has some pretty good options in the lower end. If you've got a bit more money, then something like the SteelSeries Rival 310 that I was talking about earlier is big enough to palm grip. And what'd you call it? If you want really big, then the Corsair Iron Claw was a good option, but also stuff like the Logitech G502 is reasonably big enough to palm grip if you want to. Yeah. Tetris takes up all 128, all of my 128 gig. I think I might be part of a botnet. Lol. Yeah, maybe. Thank you, Adrian. Yeah, interesting hearing the different setups, because there is quite the variety there. The only real thing is that, at least of the 4 people or 5 people who've replied, there's nothing that is drastically like low end, which is interesting because in terms of sheer numbers, the low end stuff, you know, like let's say Ryzen 1600 and below, do take up the majority of the actual shares or sales rather. Hello, Liam. It has been a long time. How you doing, man? How's things? No Man's Sky is bad with loading cells to memory. Pop in is real. Ah, yes, pop in. That's great. I do like when you load a game of Battlegrounds and then the first like 5 minutes of the game is just like still trying to like load in textures. What was it? The COD Modern Warfare beta. When you launch that, the people who are walking as part of the menu system, I got full on Lara Croft first gen like triangle, well, everything, triangle heads, triangle breasts, just everything, and it was fantastic, and it stayed like that for more than like 3 seconds, which is just the best version of pop in ever. Good to see you're going with the goatee. Well, I'm trying. I've got a landing patch, but that's about it. What do you think of PCs sold in shops like PC World? They seem to be selling outdated stuff. Yeah, that's kind of the problem. Yes, polygons. It's a level of detail scaling thing. They have to include models for low end systems, which have, or for when you're at distance, so it doesn't really matter that they don't render a full poly version. But anyway, yeah, so the PCs sold in shops tend to be of kind of mainstream variety. Often, like the ones that I've seen, like especially like the gaming PCs, tend to be pretty badly spec'd, mostly because I assume They have big highlight things like Intel i7, which Intel pays the money to put there. And then like, I don't know, like 8 gigs of RAM, but then like an RTX 2070 or something stupid because, you know, spec sheet. So yeah, generally speaking, and I'm not intending to offend anyone, but the people who like the target market of the people who buy from places like PC World is the what I might call undereducated about the market type of consumer. So yeah, that's not to say that it's like entirely bad. I'm sure like for most like laptops and that kind of thing, and like daily driver PCs for offices or you know your home computer that you're gonna leave in a corner for 6 years, they're generally fine. But for the more enthusiast customer, they're not quite the right place to be going, I suppose. Hello, Joe. How you doing, man? Um, I'm okay. I'm going to EGX tomorrow, surprisingly. And parents who don't know don't care to know better. Yes, very true. um, as an overgeneralization, Jimmy, yes. Um, it has been a long time since I've been in one, to be honest. I think it's probably been what 5 years since I've been in a PC world, and obviously not shopping for myself. I was actually working in a PC world for a bit with Samsung, but yeah, not too bad. Huh? You've been working anything interesting this week? Um, so I that the system that chat is currently hiding is an i7 9700KF, which is the a slightly better clocked version of the K with no integrated graphics, and it's actually kind of an interesting system. The review for it comes out tomorrow, but I've also done a video comparing that CPU to the Ryzen 3700X, and then also the video I finished today was the Ryzen 3700X, and that one while also streaming. So yeah. Um, I get all my PC stuff from Scan. Never had one fault with the company. Fair play. Um, I tend to work with one of their competitors a bit more, Overclockers UK. They're a very similar kind of company. I think the Scan does tend to have more A, sales volume, and B, what you call it, often exclusivity of products. You do tend to find that Scan will have um, certain products earlier than basically anyone else, which can be interesting to see. But um, yeah, they're both good options. Consider my system somewhat low. Um, in a Xeon E5 1650 V2, 64 gigs of RAM, and a GTX 1060. I mean, it's nice enough. If it works for you, it works for you, which is the important thing. Ish has a Threadripper 1920X with 30 gigs of RAM and a 980 Ti with 3 SSDs, 3 terabyte SSD, and 12 terabytes in spinning rust, as Wendell often puts it. Scan, overclockers, eBuyer are all great. Wait, what's in the box? New review machine? No, so the box is me being lazy, to be honest. I need to pack it to ship it away. But the box, what's in the box? Is a HP Omen laptop. I'm pretty sure the video for that's already out. He says. When did it come out? Oh god, it came out like 3 weeks ago. Christ. Well, that video's already out. The PC video is coming out tomorrow, though. Oh. Okay. How did you manage that, Joe? Because I've spoken to them, and they said, unless you're in the USA, we're not sending you one. Yeah, I was thinking 7. Yeah, I got there. raise of SSD and Rust. Yeah, I expected so. But still, nice enough. What's in the box? I've been working with them since day dot on the original June case. Ah, very nice. Fair play. Nice one. Let me know how it is and how it builds. I'd be interested to hear. Because it does look cool. I want to put the, where is it? It's over there, you can't see it. The 24 core Threadripper in it. Because, you know, it's already a Hackintosh. May as well make it look like one. Hello, Apsid. How you doing? Definitely very keen to try this one out and see just how well made it is. Definitely has the attention factor to it. It does indeed. Yeah. Hello, Sai. How you doing? Good. How are you? Yeah, not too bad. Kind of fine, I guess. I'll be EGX tomorrow. If anyone else is. I mean, I'm going to be pretty busy EGX tomorrow, but possibly. Ryzen Zen 2 CPUs seem to be working to higher clocks when they're as cool as possible. What sort of cooler do you recommend? Not Noctua, a bit expensive. So it depends how much money you're willing to spend. A very good option is the Arctic Freezer 34 Esports Duo. I think it's about 30-ish pounds and is absolutely fantastic. Keeps Ryzen chips pretty cool. So yeah, that's a very good shout for an air cooler. I'm not entirely sure on budget water coolers. I'd probably just stick with air cooling in the budget end. Has anyone tried or used the Sabrent Rocket 1 terabyte NVMe? I haven't, but I have heard quite good things about it. And it's incredibly cheap. Yeah. Ah, that's not ideal. And Vidas, yes, air is cool. Yeah, so the Arctic Freezer 34 Esports Duo is a great option for that. I think it's like 35 pounds. So not hideously expensive. And it's dual fan. Ooh. Oh. Yeah, pretty much. I suppose. Yeah, bestseller on Amazon. I should hope so. It's a great option. I did a review on it if you want to check out that and check out temperatures. I can't remember which CPU I actually tested it with, but it was probably a Ryzen 2700X. Just received my 2080 Ti. Very happy with it. Nice. That's which brand and model did you go for? I wouldn't mind a 2080 Ti myself. I'm actually not all that fussed at the moment. I've got a GTX 1080 right now, and it's doing fine still. I have a 1440p 165Hz monitor, but I'm generally getting over 120 FPS in most games on like high settings. So, I'm not that fussed right now. Once it gets a bit slow, then I'll think about it. But yeah. The 2700X will be cooled by two 360mm RADs with the MSI graphics card. Nice. That is that's probably overkill, but also quite cool. I'm struggling to get a hold of a GPU for a moment for a sponsored build. Got everything for a custom loop, but they wanted a GPU block too, and I can't get a block for the 1660 Ti. Ah, Yeah, that was the biggest problem with me trying to get water cooling as well. Back when I tried water cooling, the only way that I actually ended up getting a water cooled graphics card was getting a Poseidon card from ASUS, which is one with a water block pre-built in. Um, so yeah, that was the only way I got around that really. Um, yeah. Should I sell EVGA 2080 Ti XC? Nice. That's a great one. Should I sell my 4K 70 hertz panel for a higher refresh rate monitor at a lower res running a 1080 Strix? Um, so it depends what sort of games you play. Generally speaking, I would probably say yes. I run, like I just said, 1440p 165 hertz G-Sync, which is very nice. It's IPS as well. It's fantastic. Um, but yeah, it's a great option. Will depend on what kind of games you play, but I've played at 4K for obviously, I mean that's a 4K monitor. I should hope I have. But my general experience with 4K is that I'd rather play at 1440p, higher refresh rate. So for me personally, yes, but it'll be up to you. I have lots of water cooling kit, so I should use it. Fair play. Do you collect mice? Not intentionally. Wondering if I should buy a Glorious Model O minus or a Final Mouse Ultralight 2. So I've not tested either of those, to be honest. Someone who probably has is Silence Tech, or Totally Silence Tech. I can't remember. He changed his channel name a while ago, and now I've forgotten about it. Like what he's changed, but he tends to mod all of those mice. So yeah, you can go check him out. Because he probably has. My experience so far with the fancy mice is probably the closest one I have is the Endgame Gear XM1 or whatever it's called. Which is pretty nice, but I'm not quite the target audience, so it's hard to beyond the objective facts of it. It's hard to give much of a consideration, I'm afraid. That would be that would be a great TV show. Jimmy, you got a 144 Hz 1080p monitor, worth an upgrade to 1440p 165 Hz. Now I've got a 2080 Ti. Is the increase in resolution not worth it? So to give you context, I have a 1080p 144 Hz monitor that's actually in portrait mode right next to my 1440p 165 Hz. And I went from that to this. And I would say that 1440p right now is the sweet spot. 1080p is great. I have no problems with it. I gamed at 1080p for 6 years. But especially now I have access to this, there's kind of no point in me not using it. Generally speaking, it's a very nice, and it is a noticeable difference between the two. But yeah, it depends on which panel you can get as well, or which which monitor specifically you can get. Just looking how big that chair looks with you in it. I dwarf my chair, so I need to start looking into some bigger chairs, as I find a lot of them are not the most comfortable for large folk. Yeah, I mean I'm sitting quite slumped in it and all that sort of stuff. I'm not sitting up straight at all. I don't tend to do that much. But yeah, I do feel it quite well, and I'm not exactly huge, so I can imagine. Lol, when you start measuring chair size in fractions of sofas, oof. Um, uh, my chair here makes me slouch. Lol. There you go. Or multiples thereof. Even more ouch. Nice. I'll be meeting Mr. Noble Chairs tomorrow. Or should I say Steve? Yeah. How long do you think X570 will last? So the roadmap for the AM4 platform as we know it is set to expire in at the end of 2020, so end of next year, start of 2021. I suspect that you'll see another generation of Ryzen, which is a Zen 2 Plus, same as second gen Ryzen, where sort of fourth gen Ryzen will be call it available on the X570 platform and I assume 670 platform as well, and then we'll see a new socket. So as for new CPUs launched on the platform, you should be able to use it for the next generation, and then I believe that's it. I'm 17 stone right now. Was 22 last year and couldn't get in hardly any chairs. Even now, I'm still what you would class as beefy. Fair play. Is that the bigger one you have? Yes, this is the Hero. The one over there is the Icon. I'm 9 stone. No chair can handle my immense weight. I'm on X470 right now with a 2700X. Wondering if I should just skip X570 altogether. Honestly, if you don't need PCI Gen 4, I wouldn't bother. I'd skip it too. I mean, I technically am skipping it because I use X470, but I'm also only using second gen Ryzen right now. So, yeah, I want to know what my weight is in stone. I'm 40. I'm just shy of 14 stone. There you go. Lolish. Oh dear. This chat. Playing any games currently? Shenzhen IO actually. It's quite good fun. It's quite like challenging, but yeah, it's good fun if you're if I guess if you're a wannabe programmer like me. Yeah, that and Rainbow Six Siege generally. I see Geek. Are you at EGX this weekend? Yes, I'm there tomorrow, but I will be quite busy. So, hello, Bugs Lover. How you doing? Need a TextMGB open source project to work on. I have a project. It's called Ryzen Hackintosh Media Builder, and I have a problem with it. So it's written in C# because that's all I know, and the problem that I have with it is that I'm running corpbots or corpnewts scripts basically in command line through the program. I've worked out a way of getting CMD in like running inside a C# program, and it works. I can do everything. I basically have the whole program entirely functional. The only problem is that it's really, really slow. If you do it manually, like if you download what do you call it? If you download what do you call it? The the Hackintosh Media Builder or Gabe macOS basically, and then run it in command line manually, it won't take like it will download at your full internet speed basically. If you do it through the program that I've written that is actually on GitHub, if you want to, mess with it. See you, Joe. I'll catch you later. I'll try. Um, yeah, if you run through the program, it takes 10 times as long, or it's 10 times slower, and I don't know why. My only assumption is that it is because the way that I do all the automation of the process is by reading in every new line that's added to um the output file, the output string basically, and then doing a big if statement of if that new line includes this, do this, and so I assume that that's being a pain, but like that's slowing it down, but I don't see why it would. So yeah, link to the project in Discord. Um, where's my GitHub? uh, GitHub. I haven't updated it in a long time because I gave up basically. Um, am I signed in? No, of course I'm not signed in. Ugh. Are you reading the output from disk? No, it's all happening inside the Add Crypto Miner. Thanks. It all happens inside the program. Oh, that one. Yeah. Um, Present One Launcher. No, that's the wrong one. That one. Oh, someone already started it. Nice. It's in the main chat. Go have a look. Link to the server. It's in the description of the stream. I think you'll find. I'll have a critique of your coding practice, then maybe look at what we can do to speed it up here. Don't bother, it's terrible. I'll pre-critique it for you. It's awful. I don't think I commented anything because I wasn't expecting anyone but me and maybe Dan to work on it. So, yeah. No comments needed. I hope so. Yeah, the problem I had with it is that while I got all of the automation working, it was very janky way of doing it, and the way that I actually was able to run those command line strings was not ideal, basically. What games are you looking for to EGX? Honestly, I don't go to EGX for the games. I go to it for the friends. For the what you call it? The actual friends, but also the like PR people that I'm friends with, and as a sort of networking event, like Laptid says. Um, so yeah, that's generally the reason that I go for the most part. I actually wasn't planning on going until this week because, if I'm honest, going to EGX and Insomnia was basically the only like the main thing every year that I did with my best friend Nathan, and he is no longer here, so I don't get to do that with him anymore, which sucks. Uh, and yeah, so I wasn't planning on going this year, but I was convinced by some people, so I am. Yes, I saw, and I remember. um, yeah. If I'm not uh, running like a headless chicken between all of the PR people and friends, then yes, I'll definitely say hello. No worries. If I catch you, I catch you. Yeah. Have you guys been up to anything interesting this week, tech wise or not? I think I've pretty much laid out everything I've done this week. Um, I've got wait is bear with. That's one of those I need to check if I'm under NDA or not. Where is it? Where is it? Was it this one? Was it, that's that one. That one. Oh, it's public. I've got a Void, a Corsair Void Elite coming, Elite Wireless coming. I think over here on Monday, but yeah, it looks pretty interesting. It's basically the newest generation, um, and when I say newest generation, it's basically just a refresh as far as I can tell. But hey, I have all the other Void headsets. Why not look at the Elite version? Um, I don't think that I'll be swapping to it from my newfound love, the what you call them, ATH G1WLs from Audio Technica, but yeah. um, uh, uh, migrating a primary school from awful Exchange server to Google for Education. I've heard of EIS. The platform is terrible and they overcharge schools for poor service. I haven't, but yeah, can defo speed up the download of this program. Interesting. How? Because like it's not the downloading of the Gabe macOS installer or the Gabe macOS files. It's actually running Gabe macOS and then having it download the most recent version of the thing. The zipping and unzipping happens almost instantaneously, no matter which system I was running it on. I'm sure that there are better ways to run it and have it faster, but it wasn't the like that wasn't my problem. My problem, like I said, is actually running Gib macOS and then having it download inside the CMD window that's inside the program. If that makes sense. I have a splinter in my hand. Awesome. Chris H, hello. How you doing? How's things? Ah, well, glad that you do now. You can, but that would require me to hard code his code into my program, which in and of itself would work fine if the program was regularly updated to match what he changes in his updates. The reason that I wanted to do it as a command line call was because then I could just download whatever the latest version of Game macOS, GenOS and BIOS, and what was it, Gen AMD vanilla patches. I think those are the main tools. Um, so then you would always have the most up to date version, and that way I can not manually update it every single time he updates anything. It would just automatically download the latest version and download the latest version of macOS. So yeah, that was the aim anyway. Um, but it does have the limitation of sucking a lot. So um, could do that for downloading within the program, then still call to get macOS for other stuff. Yes, I know. I mean, technically speaking, I'm pretty sure the program is entirely functional. And so, technically speaking, you could go about using it to build an installer for like macOS. But yeah, that's that. Yeah. Hello, Matt. How you doing? How's things, man? Are you going to EGX? Specifically, are you going to EGX tomorrow? um, Chris, we know. We read it in the Discord. Wait, it's Corp. Yes, it's Corp New. Well, it's Corp New stuff. What? I'm not afraid. Are you heading there? Yes, I will tomorrow. Considering 2070 Super over 2060, you think I should go with 70 Super or 80 Super cost performance? I don't do AMD, so no 5700 XT. Uh, fair enough. uh, um, so 20 you have a 2060, so 2070 Super or 2080 Super, or 2060 Super 2070. So overall there, if you want to upgrade, the 2070 Super is probably the best option. But yeah. Yeah, it depends how much you're willing to spend on the upgrade. A 2070 Super will give you a good bit more performance, especially if you're gaming at higher resolutions than say 1080p. But yeah, I need to do some open source contributions from a free T-shirt. Oh, nice. Spend it all and overclock it. Oh, yeah. The higher up in the product stack you get, the less value for money you get, basically. So, the easier the lower end the card is, the easier it is to recommend in terms of value for money. Obviously, if you're talking about an upgrade, then potentially 2080 Super could be a better option, just because it's going to be a more stark difference in performance for you. But yeah, it kind of depends on what resolution you're playing at and how much money you're willing to spend. buy a, buy a Quadro. Yeah, because that'll help. No worries. Oh dear. I just noticed you've smashed through 50k subs. I wasn't on here too long ago, and you're in the 30s. Good going, man. Indeed. I mean, I'm getting about 10k a year, so in about 10 years, I'm hoping that it's a growth curve. It's always slow when you small. But yeah, thank you very much, and obviously thank you to you guys for subscribing and all that jazz. What's been interesting is that subscribers go up by just shy of a K a month, right? But average viewers doesn't, which is very weird. But yeah, anyway, 3200 megahertz or 3600 megahertz for Samsung BDI 2600, 2700X, Team Group Edition 8 pack. So the problem I would have with that is that I have a Ryzen 2700 non-X, and I have 3000 megahertz RAM, and I have trouble having it run at 3000 megahertz sometimes. Also, the test system, when I've tested even on an X570 motherboard, I have had trouble with Ryzen 2700Xs running even at 3200 megahertz. So 3200 megahertz would probably be the maximum I would recommend for second gen Ryzen. If you went with third gen, obviously I know you haven't, then 36 would be no problem. But for second gen, I would go with 3200. Or if you have 2933 at the moment, that's going to be pretty similar in terms of performance. So yeah, I would go with that. I have 3200 on a 3800X. Nice, yeah, fair play. I mean, slightly suboptimal if you want to be picky, but yeah, fair play. It's definitely reasonable. And YouTube algorithms cycling viewers, potentially. I mean, it wouldn't be the weirdest thing YouTube's ever done, but yeah. Hey, it's hard me making 1,000 accounts per month. Oh, that's why. uh, Veros, thank you very much. Well, CX only had 336. You're only buying from CX. Nice. GG. YouTube is a weird, very weird place, my friend. It is indeed. 4 gig ones. Oh, okay. That weird. I'd go with 8 gig DIMMs. Damn, son. That is impressively cheap. Nice. That's cool. No. That's the system that's in the back there is an eBuyer AlphaSync PC. And I thought that it might have that RAM, but it doesn't. It has Corsair Vengeance Pro RGB. Okay, Chris. Anyway, I suppose you're right. That is the end of the hour. Are you getting Audi's new system into review? I'm not, at least currently anyway. Some people in Discord recommended it, but yeah, no. I'm pretty sure it's just a German OEM that they're selling through Audi, but yeah. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next week. If you're at EGX, then potentially, maybe, if I'm not running around like a headless chicken, see you tomorrow. If not, I'll be back next week, as always. Yes, I will. And then I'm driving a McLaren the next day and a single-seater Formula Renault. Right, I will catch you guys later. I need to end it on YouTube first, and then those of you watching on Twitch will get like 3 seconds extra. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Yeah.